Hello, all. Welcome. This is episode 74 of FMA Discussion, and tonight we are featuring Tuhon Ray Dionaldo. If you're checking in, please tell us where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to FMA Discussion on YouTube. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Yeah, I was hearing you before, but not now. Yeah, something must have just happened because before I was hearing you. Can't be anything that serious. Folks that are tuning in, yeah, we're just experiencing a temporary thing here. Hmm. Perhaps try, it may be coming back in, but can't be anything that serious because I was hearing you before. Yeah, just he's got something going on with the audio. Technology, huh? Never a dull moment. You know what? There we go. He's gonna come back in. Hopefully that'll do it. Oh, brother. Oh, let's see.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, we're good. Okay.
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you, there's like glitches here and there all the time for no apparent reason. But you did freeze as well.
Okay.
Um, but we're gonna run with it and hopefully everything should be good. So if you just are tuning
Cool.
in, again, tonight is episode 74, FMA Discussion. Tonight we're featuring Tuhon Ray Dionaldo. If you haven't already, please hit like, subscribe to FMA Discussion on YouTube channel. If you're checking in, please tell us where you're watching from. All right, again, I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem.
let's get on.
But
So I figure we'll got a couple questions from viewers, but generally speaking, most of the content will just come up kind of what I came up with as far as background and so forth and current stuff. So let's I guess to start with so you moved back from the Philippines. Sounds like the COVID situation.
yeah, I I've been I don't want to say I've been stuck, but I've been in the US since I guess early March.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go back to the Philippines after my camp in March, and the next day or the day before I was supposed to leave, that's when the lockdown started.
Yeah, I know that dreaded lockdown. So are your plans to eventually go back eventually?
Well, yeah, I do.
Okay. So it's just a temporary stay in Florida then. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but all right, let's just get. Normally I do. I always like to get background. So obviously you got a list of obviously who you train with and your influences and what have you. So I guess let's start with the beginning. Who when and who I guess where was your first FMA experience?
My first FMA experience, I was already living in Florida at the time. My first instructor was Bujin Mateen. and under PTK.
Oh, pediatrician. Okay. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought it was our. Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I was about, it was 1980. So my earliest record is 1980. So I'll just go with that. Might have been before that. I was a slow learner, but
1980. That's still that's early. Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah,
must have been. So you were a kid, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I was a baby.
Yeah. Wow. 1980. It's true.
Yeah.
Gee, that's so. So just from that first experience, I mean, I know you probably done other arts, traditional arts, and so forth, and so and all that. But just from that experience alone, what were the takeaways? What'd you think?
I mean, for me, I consider it as far as somebody who's studying. Um, I would say it was like the golden age of FMA. Not so much in being popular, but if you're going to start FMA, this was the time. Especially for a Filipino
Mm,
kid. It wasn't very popular at the time. A lot of the grandmasters they moved. They came here for work. Um, and nobody knew what Filipino martial arts was. Everybody knew
yeah, in
karate,
1980.
judo, taekwondo. Uh,
Mm,
so they were happy for anybody who was interested in what they were doing.
okay,
So I was kind of like it was like a perfect storm. I was in the right place at the right time,
gotcha.
um,
Okay.
and so they introduced me around, to their friends and so on.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, and
So
back then there was no curriculum. I mean, now there's
yeah, okay, okay. No
yeah.
syllabus.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was before, for PTK, it was before Tri-V, it was before Dosi Methodos.
The Tri-V formula and the four gate and all that new
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
there was no formula. It was just a big experiment.
yeah. Wow. And so I mean, he was obviously under Gaihei, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
I was the group, me and a few others, we traveled around to help, GT kind of propagate the art. So,
Okay, right, because he was in New York City at the time. Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. He was in
Yeah.
New York, and then a lot of his group moved to Florida. So
Mm.
I'm part of that group. You know, I, I joined up um, as they were moving to Florida.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what was the next stop after that?
Next stop in FMA.
Correct.
Um, I would say probably modern Arnis.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And
I was about
via
17 at the time.
okay, was that via Master Remy or somebody else?
Yeah, yeah. I trained directly with Professor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was he
Mhm.
because he was he also residing in Florida at the time?
He had a few houses, but yeah, he had a place in Florida. He liked Florida. Actually, at
Mm,
the time, my first art actually was Shotokan karate,
okay.
um, and I was also training in judo. And at the time,
Mm,
Professor Ed Maley, if anybody's familiar with the name, he was having a hip surgery. So we were doing a little fundraiser seminar to help with his expenses. And Professor just happened to be on vacation in Florida at the time, and he stopped in.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So
yeah, and then of course, he asked the question, "Does anybody here do FMA?" And like any kid would do, it's like, "Ooh, choose me."
sign me
Um,
up.
yeah, and then he proceeded to give me a beating like I've never had.
Jeez, oh my God, here you are raising your hand to like be, you're adventurous and enthusiastic, and you raise your hand and you're getting like walloped.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, he's obviously has a great impression on you and firms what you do. So what was that like? I mean, did you immediately start to train with him?
Yeah, at the time he was only doing seminars, so I would train with him anytime he was, in the area.
Oh, okay, because he was about right on the weekends. He was all over the place, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But he liked Florida. He had a house, here,
Mm.
so and I was a kid at the time, so I could only afford to follow him as far, around the South.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But
And
fortunately for me, he was here a lot.
no, that's great. So, and then what did you, now, as far as he goes in his system, what attracted you? Like, what made you want to continue with him or follow him?
Um, it was Remy.
Everybody says
Just
that. Guy,
yeah,
like, just that. Yeah, I'm hearing that from everybody. That his personality, like it almost sounds like you just people are just drawn to him or something.
yeah.
You know?
Well, he was very encouraging.
Yeah.
So we got to be good friends. As he was a good friend as well as my mentor.
Mm,
Um, of course, I liked that he was really technical and he had a certain um, order that I could follow, as opposed
mm.
to back in the when I first started, I'd see a technique one day, I wouldn't see it again for years, and then I was expected to know it. So yeah.
So, how long now? Do you recall? I know it's a while. I
Hmm?
mean, this is years ago, but do you recall what year you came into contact with him?
I don't remember. I just remember that I was about 17.
17, and then you
Hmm.
you okay, obviously, and you stayed with him up until his unfortunate death.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so what was the next? I guess an FMA stop.
Okay, so I trained with a lot of different people, here and there. Like Guru Dan. I spent a little time with Edgar Solite.
Mm,
But not. Of course, they were traveling around, so I'd see them once in a while, and I
you're
met
right.
them
Okay.
through PTK. Um, but during this time, also, like I said, I couldn't afford to travel as much, out of the state or out of the South. So I took what I could get. When Bujin passed away, and I don't remember what year it was. I think it might have been 2000. Yeah, maybe 2000.
Okay.
Um, uh, um, I started training with Bo Sayok over in Naples, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in college at the time, and one of my training partners in college, he was doing Modernist also, but then he was training with Bo, and he told Bo about me, and then Bo extended an invitation. So I spent a lot of time going to Naples. So I would finish up my
Man.
classes on Friday morning. I would head up to Naples, and like I said, I didn't have a lot of money or whatever. None of us did. Uh,
Mm,
Starving college kid, starving martial artist. So he would let me sleep at the school on the mats, and there was a couple of us that were doing that. Um,
oh wow.
and yeah, and then I would teach his regular classes for him during the weekend, and then in the evenings he would do private lessons for me and a few of the other guys.
That was a nice arrangement. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it worked out good. He got to go out at night, and or he got to have his mornings free.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and yeah, so it worked
So
out really good.
so I've heard not I never obviously I met Tuhon Chris being part of SAOC back in the day and all that, but I never I remember God, I think I want to say it was 2002, 2003, the first Sama Sama I went to, and I remember meeting him. I mean, he was up there in age, obviously. Um, but was it now? Did he have again? I know the whole SAC umbrella, but did he have like a different set of stuff or material as opposed to on Chris?
Yeah, the it's training under Tuhon Bo. I mean, some people call him Tatang Bo, some people call him Um, I started training with him, and I just called him Tuhon, so I'm just gonna keep calling him that. Um, so yeah, it was more a little bit broader, more
Mm,
classical style.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
Tahone Chris kind of went more towards the bladed approach,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
Tahone Bo kind of kept the classical feel of it. So that was what they
Mm.
called SAP fighting systems.
Okay, okay. And is it is I forget which son. Is he still affiliated? Oh my God, Mike. I'm sorry, Tom.
I haven't seen Mike in a long time,
Okay, because I knew
which
he
is
was
sad
okay.
because he only lives an hour away from here.
Okay, yeah, it was.
Um,
I was just curious. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
so that.
So,
Oh, all right. So
you know,
then, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I mean, like I said, I'd see Mike at the family events.
Mm.
If he had something going on, I'd always, try to support. But I don't get up in that direction too much nowadays.
It's funny because if I recall correctly, it's funny because when I started with the sax, it was the late '90s, but
Hmm.
I had a miserable knee operation, and then I got back in like 2002. But what I recall from the late night is that the original Sama Samas were in Florida. Am I correct there?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay, okay. And then they went to Pennsylvania. Okay, all right,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And then so anybody yeah, and again, like I know you had some contact with PJ Edgar and some of the other Mako guys and all that. Besides Tuhon Bo, was there anybody after that that kind of influenced you or anything?
Um, I would say that was the main ones.
Those were the main three? Okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah, PTK, Modern News, and Sayok. Um,
okay.
I have a karate Japanese martial arts background as well. That had a little bit to do with it. Yeah,
Okay, no, no, good.
yeah.
So, all right, so so I got a question which leads to my from a viewer. And Elric Jundis. And this question is, what was the FMA scene like when you started, and is it different from what it is now?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it was a little bit more secretive
Mm,
when we started. I don't know if that was the intent, but it was something that back in the day in America was really exotic. So nobody knew what it was or understood what it was.
mm,
So it wasn't a huge following. So like I said, it was a good time if you were starting out. Um,
yeah.
because if you could get access to one of the FMA masters, um, they there was no curriculum, but they would spoon feed you. They were just happy to have
Mm,
somebody to train.
yeah, right. Somebody that was enthusiastic and wanted it. Sure,
Yeah,
sure. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost seems like back then, knife was really exclusive. Like you really like, I mean, stick, yeah,
yeah.
of course. But it seems like the knife was kind of kept on the sidelines. Is that fair? Am I accurate there?
Um, you know what? It was just a matter of there was really no way to train it safely. When I started, we were using wooden dowels as our
That's
training
right.
blade.
There wasn't knock knives or rubber
Or
trainers.
yeah, they would use they put duct tape over live blades.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which that was a little sketchy in itself.
Yeah, just because you put
Yeah,
duct tape over aluminum, yeah, it's supposed to take the
yeah,
pain away.
yeah. That's what led me to start developing the line of trainers that you see out there nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. Which we're gonna definitely get into that.
Yeah,
Um, I just want to take a moment. We got a bunch of people watching there. Just say, give a quick hello to everybody. My goodness. So we got Jesse, Brian, the regulars, Felix, Rich Packman, regular, Jesse, Gladys, Duran. Hey, Duran. Uh, Hoyce,
Duran,
Chris. Hey, Chris.
Duran Sordo.
Yeah, Duran Sordo. Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Yeah. And
All my drinking
Fatima
buddies.
and Felix, who else? Frank, Julius, another regular, Dell, Michael, greetings from Florida, Tom Pena. Hey, Tom, and all that. Wow. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. So, okay, FCS.
Right.
When? when did you create, and I guess what was why and what were your initial goals?
I had no goals. um, I was training with Remy at the time, and he was always telling me, um, encourage me to start my own thing. And I said,
Oh, that's
Professor,
fantastic.
yeah, and um, I said, hey, Professor, you're never going to pass away. You're going to live forever. I just want to
Yeah.
be your student. You know, and this went on for several years. I guess he got tired of it one day, and at one of the big three seminars, he called me up and said, "Hey, let's go do a demo." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I grab a stick and I'm waiting for him, and he always does the introduction for all the big three seminars back in the day. So he was up there on stage, and he said, uh, I'd like to introduce my nephew, and he has his own style. And I was thinking, this is pretty cool because I've never met anybody else, any one of Professor's family. So I
Mm,
thought that was cool. And I thought there was only modernist because, I didn't even realize, how deep it went.
mm.
And then he goes, this is my nephew, Ray. I'm like, excuse me?
Oh, here you are expecting this distant relative to walk on the
I'm
floor,
expecting, yeah, a relative of his to come walking up.
and voila, it's you.
So, yeah. And then, and this is what was at the Big Three in Clearwater. So I leaned over to Professor and I said, I know I'm not your nephew, and I don't have my own style. And he whispers to me, think fast.
Yeah, nothing like pressure, huh?
Yeah, and Filipino Combat Systems was the name of my little garage group, me and maybe four other guys.
Okay.
So thinking fast, that's what I called it, and it stuck.
No, no, it's good. No. I mean, I think I like it. I think it's catchy. So I mean, but so what year? Just and I know this is some time ago, but do you just trying the idea of year?
Um, I know it was the last Big Three in Florida. I'm pretty sure it was. Oh, it was a long time ago.
But so,
At
in
least
the mid,
20 years, at least.
so maybe like late uh late 90s, early 2000s,
Mm, it was in the 90s, late 90s.
late 90s. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So so you do your demo and all that. You got a little group going in your garage. You got a name. What comprises the system? I mean, not so much maybe now, but back then, like what were your ingredients? What were you throwing in there?
It had a lot of the footwork and body mechanics from PTK.
Okay.
And if you actually look at my curriculum, um, I intentionally keep a lot of elements from PTK, Modern Nice in there, just as and stuff that I learned from Tuhon Ray, um, just as out of respect for them and their memory.
Sure, sure, sure.
You know, um, yeah. So that, like I said, the body mechanics to PTK, the technical stick work, hand trapping and baiting from Modern Nice, and a little bit of, and this is the one of the things that that turned me on about Toan Bo is his movements are very elegant. I love doing espadidaga with him. Uh,
Mm,
so that elegance, that smoothness, I tried to bring into FCS also.
okay. No, sweet. All right. So at the time in these these early years in development, um, what was your, so I know you got the three elements as far as, syllabus per se and all that. In the early years, ranking structure, choice of weapon, were you showing all the weapons?
No, no, just your typical stick blade open hand. All
Okay, so okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
all the other weapons kind of evolved throughout my, through my travels. I mean, I also started Sealot the same day as I started Kali. So, I also ventured into the Sealot world. But uh, you know, being Filipino and having a little bit of a family lineage, I find out later on, um, I could get away. It gave me a lot more freedom than I would as being a foreigner studying Sealot.
Yeah, yeah, back then, yeah, back then.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, no, that makes sense, right? You're talking like early 80s. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right, right. Yeah, it's not just anybody's going into a village and learning
Right, right.
or leaving. So,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of crazy stuff.
yeah. So then, okay. So I want to just okay, because I'm just trying to as far as like a timeline here. So when you well, actually, I'm going to get to this, but just as far as your students, then and now, like, I know, this is 20 years ago, and obviously your teachings change, you get more refined in teaching and
Mhm.
delivery of information and what have you. But just overall speaking,
Yeah.
what are you trying to instill in your students?
You know what? Okay, two main things. One, the love for FMA and FMA or martial arts in general. Okay, that whole quest for knowledge.
Mm,
The development of character. That kind of thing. It sounds kind of cliche now, but I'm a hopeless romantic. What can I say?
yeah.
Um, the other thing is part of what went into my training is that a lot of these GMs took me in, like I was family, and
Mm,
so I do that for everybody in my system, and I encourage I don't encourage it, I require it. They have to treat everybody like it was extended family.
yeah. Respect,
Yeah,
regardless of rank or where you are, when you came in the system.
yeah,
That's good
yeah.
stuff. Good stuff.
Nobody wears a rank. I mean, you're not going to catch me wearing a sash or a belt at all. I do it in the Philippines because they ask me to,
Mm,
but other than that, no, I'm quite informal.
okay. Yeah. No. 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 So, and now this is something that you these are values you instilled back then as well as now.
Yeah, I kind of started it that way.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's talk about I mean, I know we got the main ingredients and all that. Obviously, you got a curriculum, you got a syllabus. Which let's hear about the ranking structure.
Just levels 1 through 5, and
Okay.
then there's what would be considered a black belt is what we call instructor level.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, and then they're called manongs, which is kind of like a respected uncle, in the Philippine culture.
Okay.
Um, However, there's instructors and then there's manongs, and the key word is as long as you're with the family and you know you maintain that contact with them,
Mm.
you retain that title of manong.
Okay.
Um, if for some reason they're no longer with the family, then that title stays with us.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
Um,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and then guru, and
Oh,
then lakan.
Guru after okay. Okay.
Yeah, and then lakan. Yeah.
Okay. And
Well,
then after Guru. Okay.
yeah, and then of course Tuhon. Part of that was I've seen so many styles where the head master passes away, or even while they're still
Mm.
around, and there's a race to see who can get the first, how many to get the
Oh
10th
my
degree
goodness.
or to become a grandmaster in that system. So the reason
Yeah.
I kept the titles low is that
Yeah.
I don't want people to race for rank. Actually,
Mm.
I don't want them to care about their rank. The only reason they have it is so that for the outside world, if they ever want to start a school, if they ever want to teach a seminar, the first question you always get is, "What rank are you?" And that's the only reason we rank. Other than that, we really don't care.
Yeah, I know it's become it's almost becoming like a dirty word, right? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
I actually ask my students not to call me Tuhon, and
Yeah,
I get a lot of raised eyebrows with that because I have tried to give up my title on
mhm.
numerous occasions. Um, and I
Yeah,
tell them, if and they tell me they respect me, that's why they call me Tuhon. And I tell them, if you respect me, allow me
sure,
to earn that as a person.
sure, sure. Yeah, no, I mean, they're just have interest for you. I mean, they're doing
Sure,
it.
sure.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, I
Um,
don't care. Call me whatever.
yeah, my students, I just said, man, I'm just
Yeah.
Dean. Like, what's
Yeah.
your title? Dean. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah, I know, but I do make a practice though of people you know, and all that to call them by title. So I'm guilty as charged as calling.
Yeah. And you know, of course, when we're publicly and when we're at events, um, you know, it's like if this person is a GM or a
Mm,
guru, you know, use the title. You know,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
understood. No, I agree. I do got a question here. Let me just from noise. Let me see. So with PTK, minor needs, and SAOC fighting systems, and the other influences, what would you say was the catalyst that brought it all together and evolved into FCS? And you might have touched on some of this already,
yeah.
but
You know, the big catalyst is time.
time?
There, yeah, there's
Okay.
really no substitute for time, um, training, living it.
Mm,
You know, and that's how it evolved the way it is. It's, you know, back in the day, I wasn't just training at the school, couple of days a week. I mean, I was, you know, I lived that. I had to survive with it, and
mm,
you know, all the things that I learned went into the evolution of FCS. And a lot of
okay.
people ask, what is, um, you know, what is the secret of FCS? There's really no secret, but one of the things that I consider FCS is the ability to transcend the boundaries of style and concepts.
Mm,
You know, to be able to just go, you know, at will, from technique to technique. So it's a smooth transition, is what, you know, FCS is known for.
okay. I like that. Yeah, that's different. I like that. Refreshing.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I don't have one particular grandmaster that I follow because, like I said, they took me in and treated me like family, and it would be a
mm,
disservice for me to choose one.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Just it would be, you know, it'd be nice if we saw more of that today, huh?
yeah. Well, I just dragged my guys to Vegas, for a week-long trip, so you know they're home, and you know, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's like, there's so many videos of me on YouTube. I don't even watch them, but I bet, you know, people tell me all the time they saw me on YouTube. So
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that. Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You're the guy I saw on YouTube.
yeah.
um,
You know,
so,
that funny story. I was in California, okay, and some of the guys online may remember this. Um, uh, at the time, I was teaching over at Ed Parker's Kempo.
okay.
Yeah, I was there for a while. That's why two of my videos were actually filmed there. They really helped me get my start. You know, Ed Parker's family. Um,
Mm,
so we went out to lunch, okay, and we are going to In and Out, and a bunch of guys come running out of this video store, and I'm thinking, okay, this is different. Is this going to be a fight? And
yeah.
then they right up to us and they said, "Hey, you're the guy from YouTube." And then they asked for like a picture or a selfie or something, and
Oh, how
I'm like,
neat.
sure, okay, cool.
Yeah. That's neat. Yeah. I mean, here
Yeah,
you
I
are. You're thinking,
had forgotten that.
here you think you're about to get bum rushed, but yet they're, you know, trying to get like a picture with you.
Yeah, because the Kempo guys were already in, in fighting position.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. So then, just before we move on to other stuff,
Mhm.
um, so when I remember first seeing you, and again, it was either the 2002 or 2003 Sama Sama. It was a year I went with the Atienzas, and it was the first year they were invited. It was one of those 2 years, but regardless, you, matter of fact, 'cause they had some people come out. Matter of fact, I think Tuhon Raphael, Tuhon Ricardo, they did the tomahawk template. Um, I think Bob Perez, he was doing a CLOT thing. I can't believe I'm still remembering this stuff. Um, and I think you did Karambit, correct?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I think the person you were using was definitely a student of yours who was out of Florida, Rico, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man, okay. Like I'm
Yeah,
on point
it was
tonight, man.
either
My
that
memory.
or Guru Travis.
Okay, okay, okay. So with the Karambit, so what I'm gonna before we jump into the Karambit and your video and all that, you obviously before um training, joining the SACs Karambit for a while, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So where did you now did you get that from a CLOT thing, or is it something you personally just wanted to investigate and to kind of develop on your own?
Yeah, actually, part of it was CLOT training. Part of it was, I got a chance to spend time with Guru Dan over the years, um, and of course, being FMA, the concepts are easy to blend together.
Mm.
So I took that and pretty much pieced together because there really was not much out there in Karambit material.
If you're like, if you're talking about 80s, yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing. You
yeah.
know,
So,
the actual
wow.
first
Okay.
Karambit that I had ever seen was sent to me
Mm.
by a tactical instructor, Michael de Bethencourt, out of New Hampshire, and
Okay.
he just saw this crazy looking knife, and he knew I was making trainers, and sent me one, and asked me if I could duplicate it out of aluminum. So I did, and I asked him, hey, what is it? So he gave me a little bit of rundown of what he knew about it, and that started a whole search about this particular weapon because
Uh,
I really want to know everything I can about bladed weapons. I mean, not just the use of it, but I'm
mm.
also a bit of a historian. Um, with the bladed weapons, um, I used to do my own forging. I have some students now that I'm teaching how to forge.
Okay.
Um, and I started making trainers just because that's what we needed. We had plenty of live blades. We didn't have enough trainers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so pretty much everything I could find on the subject of blades, I pretty much searched for.
Mm. Okay. So, am I correct here? And this is kind of it's like I had a couple episodes ago, and it was kind of actually it was called Debunk the Myth, FMA and all that. It didn't get really political, which was kind of nice, but it did bring out some truth. There was some new information, and I mean, it was overall a good thing. But one of the
Mhm.
things that came out and all that was that some people actually still think, and this is not coming from me. I don't have enough information to say yay or nay, but that the Karambit is not an FMA weapon. However, it's been pulled in and all that because if you look at respects to Mindanao, they don't even consider some of the arts down there FMA, Kuntao, Sila, and all that. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I answer that. I get asked that a lot. Okay,
Yeah, it's a hot topic, huh?
because my roots extend just as deep in CLOT as it does in FMA.
Mm,
So here's the thing: it's like everybody gives the Filipino arts, we're the stick guys, right? But
yeah,
yeah, the Irish have their own stick fighting art.
yeah, right.
The Indonesians have their own stick fighting art. The Spanish have their own stick fighting art. It's just that history labeled us as the stick guys, you know,
Mm,
and history may even label us as knife guys, but that's undisputed that every culture in the world has a knife.
yeah.
Yeah. So the karambit, yeah, the Indonesians are famous for it, and they used it primarily as a weapon. Oh,
Mm,
incidentally, one of the reasons you don't hear much about it is because they're really big historically about you know this about the weapons being a male thing, an
mm,
honorable thing, which the karambit did not have that history. It was a
yeah,
weapon of assassins,
right.
or
That's
it
right
was
there.
considered a woman's weapon. So the
Same
history
thing. Okay,
books,
okay.
yeah. So the history books tend to gloss over that a little bit.
Mm,
Just like the karambit, you don't see it a lot on on not the karambit, the Bali song. You don't get a lot of history about that,
mm,
written, not much at least, or just little slight, small references to it, because really, when you think about it, it didn't have the most illustrious history.
okay.
So you ask me later if you want to find out about that, but so the same thing about the karambit. Number one, it didn't have a lot of an illustrious history. Okay, not like it has today.
Mm,
Also, there's so many other styles that use a hook blade. I mean, the carpet knife is a hook blade.
yeah.
In the Philippines, it wasn't called karambit; it was called a karet. They use it for like cutting these bales of the rice. You'll see bigger ones called they call them a sangut in Mindanao.
I've heard that term. Okay.
Yeah, so there are versions of the karambit in the Philippines. And I actually brought a bunch of them back with me from the Philippines, just as this is the undeniable truth that they do exist. That curved blade does exist. Maybe not the
Yeah.
same name, but it's there. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I took a lot of heat because I was teaching sarong.
Mm,
Everybody's like, "Well, you're an FMA guy. Why are you teaching sarong?" Well, I started CLOT and FMA the same day, so
yeah.
I'm just as much a CLOT guy as I am an FMA guy. And then when I was up in the mountains in Mindanao, I took a video of a tribal dance using a sarong, and I posted it online. So again, undeniable proof that it does exist. It's just
Yeah.
that
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
whoever wrote the books, tended to, cover certain things up.
Yeah. I mean, right. Because if you're, the thing is, it's kind of like, if you're leaning towards a particular way, or this is something you like to believe in, and you're going to want to manifest that, so you're going to
Yeah,
lean towards like, no, no, it wasn't there. Yeah, I mean, obviously even writers have bias, so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's why, like, when I teach, when I'm at seminars, um, anything I tell the guys, I feel in myself, I have to be able to, whatever I teach, I can teach using science, using geometry. I can
mm,
give historical references to it. And if I can't, conceptually, it should, match up.
okay,
So I'm very big about, the whole truth in the system kind of thing, because there's
yeah,
there's a lot of fantasy out there.
yeah. Like I alluded to, a couple paragraphs ago, like when I like we did this, it was Professor Trocano, Alric doing this, and a few others, and it was a lot about these myths. I mean, this glorification of some stuff and all this, and this kind of popped in the Karambit.
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, the name Karambit, yeah, it's not Filipino, you know. Um, but the hook blade, yeah, they have it in the Philippines.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the term you
Um,
mentioned, the Sungit, is that correct?
the sangot,
Sungun. I
yeah,
definitely have heard that before.
yeah,
Okay.
they use
Yeah.
it for harvesting coconuts.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All right. So then, so with the while we're on it, we might as well just stay on the Karambit.
okay.
um, when again, what made you like I know being unique, different, and all that, but like what appealed to you about it? Like, is my first question. And why did you really kind of develop a template and really go deep in it? That's kind of my first question. The
It,
second
it,
part of
it,
the
it,
question
it
is,
okay.
if I'm correct, I don't consider it a dueling weapon. However, though, the maneuverability and the stealth and then kind of in between the cracks, so to speak, I think it's incredible. It's devastating. But so my second part of the question, am I correct in that it's probably not the best dueling weapon?
I wouldn't use it for a dueling weapon.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that, it has the history that it has,
Mm,
because as a stealthy weapon, yeah, probably, ounce for ounce, inch for inch, it's probably has the most destructive potential of the blades out there.
on the inside,
However,
man. Jeez.
as a, from on a one-on-one dueling scenario, it would probably be one of the last blades I would choose.
Yeah, no argument here. Like, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And
Okay,
the
before we
only
get,
reason, yeah, the only reason I gravitated towards the karambit is because there really wasn't much about it.
okay, okay.
So it was something that was for me, like exotic, kind of like a unicorn. That's
Mm, yeah, yeah,
not a whole
yeah.
lot written about it. So
Kind of like
yeah,
the oddball.
Yeah, yeah. So I did a lot of research on it. Then from what I got and what I gathered, I blended that with my own body mechanics and the different styles that I studied.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, because if I recall, if I recall correctly, you're the first one that I remember kind of seeing making it somewhat, like, lack of a better word, popular or not main. I don't want to say mainstream. I don't want to get that misconstrued, but just basically where I saw it basically being shown
Mhm.
and all that. I think maybe Dark Marcata kind of there maybe after that, if I'm not mistaken. But I
Yeah.
think I definitely recall you
Um,
though.
it was me and Steve Tarani.
Steve Tarani?
Yeah, yeah. We came out around the same time.
I had no, wow, if you didn't tell me that, I would have had no idea that he even delved into that. Wow, really? Huh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
I've never even seen him with it. Really?
Yeah. I
Huh.
mean, that's why the Strider knives, has the Tarani Karambit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Learn something new every day. Wow, no kidding. I mean, I knew I would have never guessed that. Like if you told me, well, who besides me?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody knows him as the tactical, not tactical guy now because he kind of reinvented himself. You know.
Yeah, yeah, from Lameko. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, um, for the longest time, I was, they called it. It wasn't my words, but they called me the king of Karambit. Um, and I got
Yeah.
labeled that, and I've been trying to get away from that for the longest
Yeah,
time.
that
You know.
like Velcro, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's not the only thing I do.
No, 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 but
But
I definitely remember like around this, I'm gonna guess early 2000s where, like you were definitely known for that. And there wasn't really anybody else that kind of developed like templates or curriculum, what have you, or you know what
mhm.
I mean? It was always kind of that mystical weapon, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, but and then what about this? What I have played around with, I just want to get your opinion on this. When I go reverse grip on it, again, I don't like it as a dueling weapon, but
Mhm.
just a matter of like playing around against straights,
Yeah.
folders or whatever, and all that. When you go reverse, it does enable you to articulate kind of jabs on the person's hand. Have you found
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually incorporate the karambit when I do Panantukan.
Oh, okay. That's got
Yeah.
to be interesting.
Well, I mean, like original Panantukan didn't. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody knows like Panantukan influenced Western boxing. You know.
Yeah.
So if you really dig deep into Panantukan, they use small blades.
Yeah. It's
So
funny you
the
said
karambit,
that.
yeah, karambit
That
is perfect for that.
Yeah, right. 'Cause it's like you were saying, the maneuverability and getting
Hmm.
inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's funny you just mentioned there were, not to get off subject here, but when you said Pontuca, basically Western thing, Western theme, and what all that, that was also in the mist too. So, but the whole, all that, but depending on where you lean on that
Right.
subject. So, but
Yeah.
no, that's
There's a
neat.
there's a lot of myth and about that because really still there's not a lot out there about Panantukan. You know, most of the Panantukan you see
Mm,
is Western boxing reverse engineered and thrown in with a Filipino flair. But I
yeah,
don't consider
Norman
that
here.
true Panantukan. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, and then you see some repackaging. You know,
Hmm.
somebody takes them, and puts a name on it, Dirty Boxing, and voila.
Yeah. There you go.
And here comes the money.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I did not just say that. So,
Better you than me.
that will be edited. I just broke my own rule. So, all right, we're gonna bring up. All right, so this is. I think I might have seen this myself, but we'll show the folks this, those who may not have seen this. All right, now I'm gonna lower myself here, give it more space.
here's the next really cool part, all right? I'm gonna use what I call rebounding energy, all right? I can go 1, 2, and 3, okay? And that takes 1, 2, 3 beats. Or I can go, okay? Go and do it like that, all right? So I get my 3 cuts, okay? Okay, in a very half beat time, right? So, what do we have here? Okay, we got, okay? So I got my 10 cuts, right? So now, a lot of guys say, yeah, well, you still gotta draw your blade, okay? We can draw our blade, get the cut, okay? In a whole second. I'm like, wow. So, let's see how long this takes. All right, hands up, okay? I'm gonna toss up and draw my blade, right? About a half a second, right? Takes 1 second up, 1 second down. I still had maybe 2 cuts left that I could just sat here and waited. Okay?
That was awesome. So, rebounding. Let's talk about that. So for speed generation. Hello? Did we lose him? Anybody that's viewing, did he zone? Is he still there, or did we lose him? Okay. What? He's muted. No, he shouldn't be muted. Let me see something here. That's weird. All right, hold on. I'm gonna be. Wait a minute. I don't know what happened. But I showed the video, then something something occurred. I don't know. I tell you, it's technology.
Hang on a second.
He's coming back, and here we go. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I just hit
Folks, if you
refresh
just
on my screen.
let us know if that's a dramatic change and you're hearing us. It's something like got stuck. I don't know. Ever since this COVID situation, it's just been like hit or miss. I'm guessing the amount of bandwidth that's been currently used, but I'm not
Right.
sure.
But you can hear me now?
Oh, you're perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Cool.
So I think before we kind of cut off there, what I was asking after showing that video was the speed generation, the rebounding. Is that kind of where you're getting that from?
Yeah. So I try to reverse engineer or follow the path of a particular technique, and anything that it came across geographically, historically. So that concept I actually got from Kempo.
Really? Wow. Okay.
From my time at Ed Parker's, I was able to ask everybody. It's like, what is it that makes what you do special?
Huh.
And then they gave me the history of it because FMA and Kempo, they were in Hawaii at the same time.
Hawaii?
So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So the Panantukan guys came through Hawaii. So did the Kempo guys. That's why FMA within Kempo. And there's a lot of concepts from Kempo in FMA.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Is that kind of like the Ed
Yeah,
Parker thing too? Because there seems to be a correlation there as well with Ed Parker
yeah,
being influenced and what have you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you look at the Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman, he's doing knife work, he's doing stick work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. You can't, right?
yeah,
I mean,
and
can't.
and then I asked Huck Planis from one of the 10th degrees in Kempo, one of the seniors, and he said flat out, yeah, it's FMA. You know,
Wow.
and then and all the other guys, Ed Jr. and Sherry, um, they backed him up on that. So
Yeah, no, that's wow, that's fantastic. I mean, I definitely heard through the Parker there was that, but I didn't know about Hawaii. That's interesting. No.
yeah, yeah, there was a lot of crossover in concepts and styles in Hawaii.
I'm hearing more and more over there because, you hear, what it is everybody knows about Stockton, California. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? If you're in FMA, you've heard that word and all that, but more and more I'm hearing about Hawaii. It's like,
Yeah.
I know, it's almost like it's just as relevant, I mean,
Yeah.
wow. Why did they, in your knowledge, why did they go there for work?
Well, when I was coming from the Philippines, my first stop was Hawaii, then LA, and then, to Detroit and then Florida. And that was
Oh,
just the
so you, so
general,
these,
yeah.
okay.
The Filipinos just always went through either Hawaii or through New York, through, I don't know, maybe Ellis Island or something. But
Yeah.
that's why the largest bodies of Filipinos and FMA is in, northern or like New York, New Jersey, and then
Mm,
the LA Stockton area.
LA,
'Cause-
definitely. In
yeah.
Hawaii, there still seems like there's a prominent community, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. Now that makes total sense. Like if they're coming over, they stop in Hawaii and they're like, well, this looks pretty good.
Yeah. Some stayed, some kept going.
You know what I mean? There's beaches and maybe we'll skip California and we'll
Yeah,
certainly skip Detroit.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah. And then the third place in the U.S. for FMA and Filipinos is Florida, just because of the weather.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would definitely make sense. Wow. Jeez. So what I want to get to, this has been fascinating, by the way. I mean, I always love getting people out where you actually learn stuff as well. I mean, this has been
Cool.
absolutely fantastic. So going back, I just want to finish up on the Karambit. So
Hmm?
um, I know I showed the video and all that. So what are you currently? I mean, it's obviously in your system and all
Hmm.
that. Is it is it I don't want to say your favorite weapon, but obviously, I mean, you were motivated by it. I mean, based on the creativity level, what you've done with it and all that. Like you've created templates. I remember, like again, when I referenced the Sama Sama, when you were using the student Rico there, like you were doing a template. I remember you going through the legs and some other graves
Yeah.
and popped on the armpit, like and all that. Like I pretty good memory. I definitely remember like that stuff. Does that sound about
Right.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Funny thing is, the Karambit is my least favorite weapon,
It didn't look at that day.
and probably what I'm the worst at.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I really don't like the damn thing. It
So
just I
so
got labeled with it.
so it was
Um,
in. Wow, that's funny. I would never guess that. Huh.
um, my favorite weapon is the stick. I mean, for me, stick day is a happy day.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I'm knife, man. I don't know what it is, but yeah. I like to stick. But it's funny. I've always appreciated the Karambit, like on the inside. I mean, just the horrific stuff it obviously can do. And but I never like, hey, I'm gonna develop the Karambit. Like it never went like to that point. It was always an interest
sure.
level, a curiosity,
Yeah.
but nothing to the magnitude
Well,
of what you did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I developed, the tabak toyok, the nunchucks. Some people call it. It's also a Filipino weapon.
Yeah, no,
There's
I've heard
something
that.
called,
Okay, okay.
yeah. I mean, I spent a long time that was my particular weapon, uh,
Uh,
doing all the demos for for GT with PTK.
Mm.
When I worked with the Art of War project out in New York, um, you know, I got labeled as the nunchuck guy too for a while.
So
But
you went from the nunchuck guy to
yeah,
the Karambit king.
yeah. Then I got labeled as a stick guy. But the thing is, the Karambit was so unique. Um,
For sure, yeah.
and there's so many other stick blade open hand guys out there that I just
Yeah.
got labeled with whatever position was open at the time.
Yeah,
So
no, like I said, I mean, I definitely remember you being like one of the first I've seen that like actually like with demonstrations and so forth. Steve Tarani, I had no idea about that. That's really
yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
No,
kind of.
I give him credit where credit is due. I mean, he was up there
Oh
when I
yeah, yeah,
started.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's, I mean, which is, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that's just, yeah, I just, I always knew he's a Lamaco guy, of course, but I never, and and I know he went into other stuff
Mhm.
after that, but I didn't know Karambit was one of them. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
so the other big thing you're doing is before blade designs. So at one time you were actually making blades. Am I correct in this, or was it Bob Berge that you were making the blades for Sayok?
Both of us were. We both
Both of
actually
us.
started
Okay.
around
Okay.
the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So when did that start? So when did you start playing around making your own blades?
I started making trainers, I think maybe a couple of years after I started. So I was maybe 13 years old. I started carving them out of wood.
Okay.
Um, then I progressed to, electric tools, which
Power
yeah,
tools.
there's been some sketchy times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cord gets wrapped around you. Oh my gosh.
yeah. And then I did some time, I learned how to forge and make knives. Um, but yeah, trainers like I said earlier, it's like there's enough live blades floating around out there. There wasn't enough trainers
Mm,
to go around.
yeah,
So that
yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of my niche. Yeah.
Now, so now when you went to the aluminum, like, would you just pick it up a sheet of aluminum, make a template, and
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah,
I
and then okay,
just took something really simple.
yeah. And so when now I know you're making for yourself and your group and all that. When did the SACs approach you as far as making them for them?
Yeah, yeah. I was I was actually with Tuhon Ray at my house, and sorry, excuse me a second. Okay. I was with Tuhon Ray and Rick, and I showed him that I started making these trainers, and this was several years on down the road already.
Mm.
And then they showed one of them to Tuhon Chris, and then he sent me down one of his personal trainers and asked me if I could duplicate it. So I did, and that's how that started.
Wow. And wow, yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
And then, I mean, you were doing that for, I mean, like quite a while, right?
yeah, yeah,
And then, okay, okay.
yeah.
Were
I mean, like
you,
I said, the whole
were
time
you,
I was with them. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Were you making them for other
yeah,
styles as well?
yeah. Well, um, like Remy, again, he knew I was a starving college kid, so he encouraged me to make trainers and bring them to his camps, and and sell them there so that I could pay for my own way.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
but
Wow.
I was
Good.
also making them for Sistema. Sonny Pazikas from Sistema is a good friend of mine.
Okay.
So I started making them for Sistema, and then of course Kempo.
Campbell.
Mhm.
And then, did you do did you also do the Atienza ones?
I've done some of them.
Some of them. Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a
Okay.
couple.
Yeah. All right. No.
A lot of those designs are pretty original.
Yeah. Yeah. So, wow. And then, like, with the blades, and the sack and all that, was that, did you do that as well? As far as their insignia and their symbols?
No, no, all the artwork was done by Tuhon Ray. Um, Their blade designs, except for the straight dagger, that was my original design from years back.
Mhm.
Everything else was their design. They just asked me to do, make the train.
They gave you a 10. Oh, I got
Yeah,
you, but the straight.
yeah,
Okay, okay. All right, okay. Wow. Are you still, and you're still doing it? You still making them? And
yeah. Actually, I
yeah,
am.
yeah, no, that's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
We were full scale now. I got a couple of the guys help me out. We have a polymer shop and a separate metal shop. So
Wow.
yeah,
Right
so we
here in
stay
Florida
pretty busy.
or over there or here?
Yeah, in Florida, and then when I'm in the Philippines, I try to use the makers in the Philippines as much as I can too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay.
this year we went back full scale in the shop in Florida just because I'm cut off to my supply in the Philippines for now.
I know. Those miserable situations. Well,
Yeah.
the ones you're currently doing today, are they generally speaking for your students and all that?
No, well, I mean, yeah, I make them for for my students. I mean, FCS is pretty big, so they keep me and the guys pretty busy all the time.
Yeah,
But
which is, wow,
yeah,
okay,
but it's
okay.
it's it's open to anybody can order. We have the
Yeah,
web.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's talk about that because that's I know I think I jumped to the Karambit a little
Mhm.
quicker than I should have, but I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions here. So just bear with me here. I'm just gonna scroll up and just see if I missed anybody. There's a ton of comments on here. um,
We could turn
okay,
this thing on. Let me see.
there we go. All right, I think I didn't miss. All right, I'm looking. Yeah, okay. Okay, back to the system. Um,
Mhm. Oh,
you
there's the
have
comments.
so you got, I mean, I know you've got reps in the States, but it sounds like worldwide you're pretty diversified. So
Yeah, I lost track. I mean, we had like 90 countries something like 5 years ago, and I stopped counting.
so with regards to the states, I mean, obviously Florida, like off the
Mhm.
top of your head, what I'm sure geographically speaking, the states, you got somebody in the north, you got somebody in the south, you got somebody in the west and southwest and all that. I mean, have you reached the majority of the states?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Who do you have in Connecticut?
Connecticut. He's not an official rep, but he holds seminars for us. Actually, shout out to Blade Culture International, Gene Baton over in Connecticut. So
Okay.
yeah, he trains with us. He's not officially FCS. He's um, Baguio Cinco Terros, but we consider him part of the family.
Is he at Stanford?
Yeah, yeah,
I think I heard Stanford, Connecticut. I think okay. Oh, okay. All right. So now so before he was having you up every once in a while?
yeah. I do a road trip every year, and he's always one of the stops. Um, and then we stay in constant contact. So
Oh wow. Well, next time you come up, all right. I'm gonna have to find out about that. Okay. All
yeah,
right.
every year we do like 20 or so cities on the road trip.
Wow. You just
Yeah.
like leave Florida and you're just
Well, you know what it was. Here's the thing. It's like I used to have these huge seminars in Florida, big camps, and
yeah.
yeah, okay, it's great. I get the trained instructors and all that. But I realized I really wasn't doing anything for them as far as helping to promote them. So I
Mm.
stopped doing all the Florida camps, and I started traveling and getting to everybody's school, help promote their program, touch hands with their students, just to help everybody promote their programs.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sure they appreciated that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
basically drive up the East Coast and
Mhm. Yeah. So
oh
we have
wow.
East Coast, we have West Coast. I'm thinking about doing one from Florida to California next.
Mm.
Yeah,
Go along the south, cut up, whatever. Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Because I
neat.
pretty much do the same thing in Asia and also Europe.
Oh, so when you go over there, like let's say like Italy brings you in, from Italy you'll kind of like go to the other countries there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'll try to hit as many countries as I can. Usually towards the end of years when I do that, and then the beginning of the year is usually around Asia and um, Australia,
Mm.
and in the middle, that's U.S. time.
So wow. So before this nightmare hit us, like how often were you traveling? Like were you trying to save it particular seasons, or I mean, were you on the
Did
move like
50
monthly?
seminars last year. This year, before COVID hit, I was scheduled for over 60.
60?
Yeah, yeah. I would knock out like 2 or 3 in a week sometimes.
Wow, 60. So you obviously would plan like, okay, if I'm gonna be in this area, I'm gonna jam out like 3 this week.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah, kind of like
Yeah,
a road trip. Every day
yeah,
different.
yeah. I suppose like you're
Yeah.
here, there, right? Wow. Are they mostly abroad?
Yeah, they used to be abroad. For some reason, the last few years, I've been doing a lot more in the U.S. So I
Hmm.
think it's just like just you know the flow of interest of FMA. It's starting to grow more in the U.S. So
Yeah, yeah. I
more
mean,
interest.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I mean, one of the things I try to push for. I mean, one of the reasons for the show, besides bringing exposure to people and all that, but also collectively trying to unite a community, but also bring exposure to this, to the arts and what have you. You know, but so um, wow, 60 a year. I would. That's insane. Wow. So, jeez, that's like now. I mean, that's got to be demanding, though, right? I mean, you're on a plane. You're
Well, yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. We have a good time, because a lot of the guys like to go with me.
yeah,
So, and that's another thing too. It's like I encourage the guys if they want to, they can travel with me just because, um, it helps spread the art, but also for them as
mm,
instructors, it's good to have a different audience, all the time to practice
yeah,
your craft.
yeah.
Um, Remy told me one time that the reason Remy was so good wasn't because he spent so much time in the dojo. It was because he spent so much time touching hands with different people, regardless of
Yeah.
style and skill level.
No, I heard that from Chad Bailey, Brian's. I mean, I've heard that from so many people. He
Two
guy just
more of my
obviously had a way with people. You know.
Yeah.
Wow. So, wow, that's incredible. Jeez. Okay. I do got another question from a viewer.
Okay.
Any movies? Have you been any movie projects or ones coming up?
The funny thing is, I hate being in the limelight. Um, this is the first year that I accepted um, to do interviews. Um, it got me at the right time. Uh,
Oh, no kidding. I
yeah,
would have known. I never knew that.
that
Okay.
that's why you really can't find a whole lot of interviews with me in the last decade or so because I just always kind of declined to do interviews.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Same thing. It's like I don't like being in the movie industry. Um,
Mm,
the only reason I did, the project, the Formless project,
mm.
was just because it was Maurice. I started training. If you guys know Maurice Crump, um, I started training him when he was around 14. So he's almost like one of my kids. So
Jeez.
so when he asked me, and then he said, that I had complete control over the, the choreography for the project. So,
Mm,
because he really wanted to, um, how you call it, represent each of the arts, as best as he could within the movie. So that's why I said, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
mm.
Yeah, and it
Okay.
was a free trip to Thailand, so
It was a free trip to Thailand to boot.
there was that part.
A little added incentive.
Yeah.
So is that pretty much it far as the
Yeah,
movie scene then?
yeah. I mean, like I've done props and stuff like that behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Yeah, consulting, but for the most part, yeah, in front of the camera. Yeah.
Okay.
I just,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not big on the limelight thing.
No. I mean, some people aren't. That's nothing wrong with that. I got another question from Jeremy. What was your most memorable moment with Remy?
Oh man. Um,
Which one, huh?
yeah, which one? I mean, two stand out for me. Um, actually, yeah, one, the first day I met him,
Mm,
um, I was like a starstruck kid, you know,
mm.
and he was throwing me around, and I had a big smile on my face. Yeah. Uh, Another time was uh, when he threw me under the bus and said I was his nephew and I had my own system. You know, that
On
stood
the
out.
floor there, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but that was one. I guess the third one I would have to say, because years ago I had given up FMA. You know, I walked away from it, um, and just, yeah, everything from politics and whatnot. The typical
Yeah,
martial arts stuff. Yeah,
it
I
can be
wanted
brutal.
nothing to do with martial arts. Period.
Yeah.
Um, and then some of my students, I'm close to my students, so they're friends. They said, Remy's in town. Hey, it's your birthday. Why don't you come and let's go hang out. Remy, would like to see you. So during that time, when I was there, after the seminar, he basically sat me down, gave me that talk. Like, you can't
Mm,
give this up. And that's when he said, just he offered me, to come and train with him and travel with him, and he would teach me how he developed modernese. So
mm.
yeah,
Okay. Wow.
so
Those are
those were
definitely,
three moments that really
yeah.
defined FCS.
So, future goals. What are your future goals? Maybe from an individual standpoint to maybe
Yeah,
your system.
you know what? I have no idea. I mean, if you had asked me like 20 years ago what my goals were, I would have said, you know what? I would like to go to Europe at least once a year.
Yeah.
You know, um, yeah. I mean, now I can pretty much understand French and, and Italian.
Mm,
Kind of. So I've been there so much. My goal is just to ensure the next generation. Um, Again, back to Remy. One
mhm.
day I went up to him and I said, "Hey, professor, I can never repay you for everything you've done for me." And he said, "Yeah, you're right." You know, but he said the one thing his project was to ensure the future of FMA, not just Modernist, but FMA in general. And he
Mhm.
said if there was something I could do for him, that would be it, is to continue his work. So that's what I do.
Oh
Yeah.
well, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
No,
So yeah. Actually, my latest projects, of course, because of COVID, I've got a lot of free time in my hands right now. So
uh-huh.
we're rebuilding the whole trainer industry again with the polymers and the aluminum,
Mhm.
and also I'm spending a lot more time with our online project. So
Okay.
yeah, because I was doing so many seminars before, and everybody got to see me regularly that I never bothered going online. But um,
Right.
one of the our instructors, he also does Balance Walk with Bobby Tawada. He came to me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing an online seminar?" And like I said, I hate being in front of the camera, and it
Mm,
took me 2 weeks to get back to him. But I thought, well, you know what? This is how I got my start in the first place with that first YouTube video. So
yeah.
why not? I'm going to embrace my roots and give it a shot.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been really popular. So we're building a whole online presence now.
Yeah. Many are doing it. It's and I tell you what, when COVID goes away, it's not going away.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not going away. The landscape, I think, is gonna be permanently changed by online, Skype, Zoom. I mean, it's a tool now. It's not going away.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think so, at least.
yeah.
So,
But I mean, there's nothing takes the place of hands-on.
no,
Uh,
but I mean, as a supplement, I just
yeah,
think I think it's going to be there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's one of the things. I have different things going on, and part of it is it's like, okay, I want to teach the guys how I think. you know,
Mm,
not just the techniques of it, but why, how I think, how I do my research. That way, hey, maybe somebody will step up. When I get older and I'm not here anymore, that
yeah,
somebody will.
yeah, yeah.
That,
Someone will take the reins, right? Yeah,
yeah.
sure. Um, this is this is the last question. We're timing this perfectly. I think I told you an hour and a half. I would take up
Uh,
your time.
oh, seems like just a few minutes.
Yeah, I know. No, actually, a couple of people said like, great conversation. Yeah, a lot of this is just kind of just flowing. I mean, like I had an agenda, or a list, I should say, but a lot of this stuff just kind of came. So that's always a good thing.
Uh,
Um,
oh, hey, here's something.
what's that?
I just saw a question from Jeremy. Okay. The question was, what was your most memorable aha moment from Remy with Remy? Okay, and this is something I want to say to all the FMA guys out there, because I was raised thinking that you were supposed to be broke and all that, you
Mm,
know. But he said to me that if you don't survive, your art doesn't survive. Okay,
yeah.
and in a general sense, you know if we don't survive as FMA as a whole, like the other arts do, we don't have the legacy to pass down. Yeah.
Mm,
So that was the aha moment, because and Professor said to me, a lot of people think he was about the money. If they didn't realize how much he would do for for his students. I mean,
yeah.
he brought me to Victoria, paid for the camera crew to film my first video, because I
Wow.
told him I didn't have any money. And I know he's done
Incredible.
that for a lot of the other guys, because I'm very close with Bruce Chu, another one of his
Mm,
representatives. And we all have those stories about him.
yeah, that's
So
obviously
yeah,
very gracious of
yeah.
him. Wow.
And he told me, yeah, a lot of people who don't know the inside story think he's about the money, but no, I mean,
Mm,
he's about helping the next generation. And that was the
yeah,
thing. Like, if you're successful, who's going to fault you for it if you maintain your principles?
sure, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Now,
If you
I
keep
was a
your
motivational
integrity,
speaker in Vegas
yeah,
for a while, so
yeah,
I get on that whole kick. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, don't feel bad about charging your students, because Bo Saif said they have to feel like they're earning it one way or another.
mm,
So it's an exchange. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, like you pay for anything else. I
yeah,
mean, like, you know what
yeah.
I mean? Oh, right. It's not
I
like
mean,
you go into Walmart
I
and
taught
just walk
classes
out.
for Bo, so you know,
Yeah, definitely. I do. Before I get to my question, another question
yeah.
did pop up. Julius, always entertaining. Outside of the professor, what FMA practitioners have you met that blew you away with their mad skills?
Professor
Professor. Okay.
just
Okay.
blew me away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
tell you what. Okay, I'm gonna give a shout out. If you guys know him, Joe Tan, over in the SoCal area.
Joe Tan.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't even know if he wants me to talk about it, because I know he picks and chooses his students. But
Okay.
I got to do a little tapado with him, and
Okay.
I never felt anybody generate that much power. It's
Really? Okay. Okay.
it was teeth rattling. So
Wow.
yeah, that
Huh.
actually blew me away.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Hmm. That's a system too. I'm trying to get somebody on, but yeah, not many around. Hmm.
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
No, no, I couldn't. No, like there was one person that somebody referenced me, but they weren't having it as far as like coming on or whatever. So,
Right. Right.
um,
Yeah.
this is a
There's
question
still
I
kind of
kind of
like
what's that?
not too much of them around still.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like it was not having much luck finding anybody. Um, this is a question I kind of just ask a lot of people I bring on here.
Mhm.
As a community, like what improvements would you like to see in our community? I mean, what can we do better?
As
Or
far as
like
FMA goes,
or overall.
um, I don't know. Like, I would like to see us support each other more.
Amen. Yeah.
I mean, the project that I do with Jared Wahongi and Doug Markida, and then
I
the
do
last
recall that. Yes,
Zapata,
yes.
you know, I mean, the whole purpose was that was to bring the FMA community together, to bring
Mm,
people from different styles and show that yeah, we could get along. You know, we could actually get along.
yeah, yeah.
Um, we could share concepts, and we can have a good time.
Mm,
You know, I mean, that's how we're gonna survive as a whole. So that was the
yeah,
main
I mean,
idea for that.
no argument here. I mean, again, one of the things by doing this channel and the group is to try to bring a united front to us because, like I alluded to you, I think in the pre-interview, I mean, if you look at social media and exposure, we're getting killed
Mhm.
by MMA and BJJ. Now, not that they're bad, but they have
No,
farm. What I mean by farm, they're bringing kids up there. It's just, that. And if we don't start getting the younger generation, this is something I adamantly believe in.
yeah.
I don't know where this is going to go if we don't start getting the younger people in there.
Sure, sure. Well, you know
So
what? The
that's,
Philippines they've really stepped up and taken the reins on that
I've
one.
noticed that. You know what? You're so right in that. I really, really know it. And I think that's fantastic. I wish it would just happen over here more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's just a matter of like the rest of the world seeing what they're doing, you
I
know,
hope you're right.
the
Yeah.
bandwagon. Because I
Yeah.
see that. It's like one country will take up, one thing that they embrace, and then
Mm,
they'll set the standard for the rest of the world, and
yeah.
it'll come.
Yeah.
It'll come. Yeah.
I, I hope you're right. I really do because I look at our generation and I'm just wondering, of course, we got people, but like, I guess I'm more the demographics like teens, kids. Like I'm not, obviously Stockton, sure,
Mhm.
but I'm talking about generally speaking across, the country here, and just as for these teams, continue, of course, you know what I mean. Um,
Yeah.
so that just be a shame, So
Yeah.
trying to do
Well,
anything we
like
can.
right now, probably FMA is one of the most visible martial arts out there. It's just most people don't know what they're seeing.
Well, like they're getting the movies, like
Yeah.
right? I mean, what
Yeah.
yeah,
There's so much of it in the movies, but nobody's claiming it, or maybe it's in their contract. I don't know, but
yeah. Hey, but we're gonna use your stuff, but we're not gonna say it's you.
right.
It's from you, or some crazy thing like that. Wow, jeez. Well, this has been absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad you agreed to do this, and
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
and that you weren't doing it before, so it makes it extra special.
Yeah.
So what I do from here is I download it to YouTube.
Okay.
And I'll have to do I'll have to do an edit or two, but generally speaking, it doesn't take that long. And then I'll post it to your wall and tag you, of course.
Cool.
And but again, I want to thank you. This was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And yeah, people were they were pounding down the doors for you. So so
I see a lot of guys I know online right now,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
like
yeah,
drinking buddies around the world.
you got to so you gotta please the crowd.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but all right, well, hey, sir, you take care and thank you again.
All right. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, all right, all right. Next week, who is next week? Bram Frank. Bram Frank is next week, and I think it's going to be 2 days. I think there's going to be Tuesday and Thursday, just because he's just got so much stuff. I mean, his journey, the books, his weapons, and et cetera, and et cetera. So that's going to be two allocated days with Bram Frank. And also, if you know people on that, don't be hesitate to submit any referrals. Particularly again, I'm looking for more female practitioners and all that. They don't have to be instructors or anything like that. So you can PM me or what have you. Again, if you haven't, hit subscribe to YouTube channel FMA Discussion, and I'll see you guys all next week. Thank you for those who submitted questions and commented. Take care.